Welcome to Manifest with Melanie, the podcast that helps you activate your manifestation superpower and build the soul-aligned life and business you're meant for. I'm your host, Melanie Mishler, equal parts woo-woo, neuroscience, and strategy. And each week, I share proven tools and raw talk to help you step into your full potential life. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, love. Welcome back to the podcast and happy Thursday. Today, we're going to be talking about manifestation loops. And more specifically, we're going to talk about how to break out of them. Now, if you've never heard me talk about manifestation loops before, then go back to episode 22 because I go really in depth into these. And honestly, I've never heard another teacher use this term. It's the term that I came up with as far as I know. But basically, it's kind of like a pattern. It's when we keep creating the same thing over and over again. Some people might call it a pattern. Some people might just say it's lifing. It's what always happens to me. It's the way things are in my life. It's just the way they are, right? You might call it Groundhog Day, but it's where we keep doing the same thing and getting the same results basically over and over. And we all do this in our lives, like whether they're positive or negative, it's something that we all do because when we look around at our life, most of our life is on autopilot. Most of our life is determined by our habits that are little tiny habits that we do every day, the way that we approach things, the lenses that we view life from. So it's not a good or bad thing. It's just are our manifestation loops ones that we want? Or do we keep creating the things that we desire? Or are we creating a bunch of stuff that we don't like? Do we have these patterns that just keep wreaking havoc in our life that we want to change? And you've probably heard me say this before. We're always manifesting. It's not something that we turn on when we journal or when we meditate. It's something that we're always doing. But for most people, and this includes me, we're manifesting by default, meaning we're just regurgitating the same thoughts, the patterns, energy, and we keep wondering, like, why do we keep having these results? Why does the same thing keep happening? It's like waking up to the same life again every day. Maybe it's in your health, your money, your relationships. Different day, same thing. So today I want to talk about how to break that pattern, how to stop living on autopilot, and how to choose what you want on purpose, how to choose your life on purpose. Because I say this in my book, manifestation isn't about getting shit. It's about recognizing that you are the architect of your own life and then choosing to harness that power, harness your inner power to create a reality that aligns with your deepest desires. It's about waking up every day, genuinely excited to show up for your life, not because of all the stuff that you have, not because of the things that you create, but because of who you've become in the process. That's really what intentional manifestation is all about. It's about getting us out of autopilot and being creative with our life force. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we get out of autopilot? Well, let's start here because I love using movies and TV shows as references. So let's start by talking about Seinfeld. Yes, the television show Seinfeld. There is an episode in there called The Opposite. Now, if you've never seen this episode, then as soon as you're done with this, I really hope you'll go watch it because it's so freaking hilarious. And it's a perfect example of how we get out of loops. So let me just give you a quick lowdown on what happens. So in the episode, George Costanza, his life is kind of a disaster. He's unemployed. He's living with his parents. Pretty much everything in his life is failing. So one day they're all sitting down for lunch and he says, screw it. If my instincts have gotten me here, if everything I've done has gotten me to this point in my life, then I need to do the opposite of my instincts. I need to completely go the opposite way. And he does with everything in his life, from what he orders for lunch to how he talks to people. He just does the exact opposite of what he would normally do. And guess what? It works. His life flips really, really quickly. He gets a new job. He's got a new relationship. He's got confidence through the roof because he stopped reinforcing that old identity that kept him stuck. And honestly, again, this is my favorite episode. I think everyone should watch it because if what you're doing isn't working in your life, then the opposite isn't just an option. It's a portal. It's like an invitation because in order to get different results, we have to do something different. And I know this seems super fucking logical. It seems so simple. But like I always say, simple does not necessarily mean easy. Because here's what makes this hard. And I'm not going to lie to you because I don't like sugarcoat things and I don't BS things. Most of us keep living in loops because we keep needing proof before we believe, right? We want the shift to happen before we're fully ready to leap. But that's not how identity or energy work. You don't get the new results and then take action and then change your beliefs, right? You don't get the new 6-pack of abs before you go to the gym. You take action first. You change your beliefs first, and then you keep showing up and you keep repeating that until reality catches up. But what happens is we often just look around our life, we see the results that we currently have, we continue to perpetuate those, and then we just keep affirming that. And we want that motivation and that momentum to come first, but motivation does not come before action. Motivation comes as the result of action. Think about it. Again, let's use the gym example. If you ever decided to start working out, you don't start off with motivation and momentum. That first month back to the gym, it can be brutal. And I know because I'm doing it right now. And most mornings, I'm telling you, I just want to stay in bed. This morning was no different. I was like, oh, I'm just going to stay here in bed. But I had plans with my workout partner and friend. And so I got my ass out of bed and I went to the gym. And guess what? After I was there, I felt really good. I had the motivation after I did the thing. So the more you take action, the more motivation comes and then the more momentum builds. And then what happens is we start to see evidence of our new life and our new results. And then that will kind of start a new manifestation loop. So we don't just like stop one manifestation loop and go to another one. It's a process that happens kind of slowly. It's almost like, it's like the sunset turning into night and then the sunrise coming up in the morning. It's a really gentle process of going from dark to light or light to dark. Okay. And so let's take this one step deeper because something I say in my course, and it always hits, is that we're not waiting for proof. We're creating it. But most people, they're stuck in what I call evidence loop. So this is a little different. Let me explain this. An evidence loop is when you keep looking at your current life. It could be your bank account, your relationship, your business results, and you keep saying, see, nothing happens. Like for me, I went to the gym for 1 week and I'm like, what the hell? Why don't I have my new body? Because it doesn't happen that fast, right? We have to keep doing it and keep doing it. But what happens is when we believe nothing's changing, when we keep looking at the results and saying, see, nothing's changing, then we keep thinking the same thoughts, we keep taking the same actions, we keep showing up with that same energy, which of course, it just creates more of the same. And then we use those results as proof that nothing is working. So we tighten up, we kind of contract, we stop dreaming, we stay stuck in the waiting. But here's the thing. If we stop waiting for things to change and we just start believing in something different, then things will happen a lot more quickly. Because the truth is, transformation doesn't come from evidence. It comes from our identity. The evidence is the result of our changed identity. You have to become the kind of person who believes before the results. You have to talk like her, walk like her, think like her before any results happen, right? Before your bank account reflects it, before the love of your life shows up, before your new body shows up, before the business shows up, before all of it. And that is shifting our identity. It works the same way. It's just kind of the opposite direction because when you start being that future version of yourself, You change your thoughts, your energy changes, your choices change, and that becomes your new evidence. So if you found yourself stuck in a loop, and here's the thing, sometimes it doesn't even feel like a loop. Sometimes it just feels like, the status quo, or just kind of like a plateau. Like, yeah, things are just kind of humming along, maybe a little boring, maybe like, okay, is this all there is? I thought there was going to be more to life. Then that can be evidence of being stuck in this pattern, in this manifestation loop, in these energy loops. And so really start to explore, where do you want things to be different? It starts with that, right? It starts with a desire to have things different in our life. If we just get complacent with the status quo, if we just get complacent with where we are, then nothing will change. It all starts with like a little bit of discomfort. And sometimes it gets to the point where it was like George Costanza in that episode where he's super uncomfortable. Nothing is working, but we don't want to get to that point. We want to catch it earlier when things are like just a little uncomfortable. Maybe we have that little low level anxiety, like, oh, I want more, or there's more out there for me. So anyway, just start to explore that. Where in your life do you feel like maybe you want a little more? Where do you feel like maybe you're a little stuck? Where do you feel like you keep getting the same results and I don't know why? If you don't know why, I guarantee you have a manifestation loop going. All right, love, I hope that this was helpful. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And until next week, keep manifesting an epic life.